For the latest on the Eskom negotiation with the unions, we are now joined on the line by Numsa spokesperson Phakamile Hlubi-Majola. A very good morning to you. Thank you very much for your time on the agenda this morning. Well, Numsa is accusing Eskom of negotiating in bad faith. What essentially is meant by this?
Thank you for having me. Yes, indeed. As Numsa, we believe that Eskom has negotiated in bad faith. We say this because we agree as trade unions fundamentally to pretty much everything that is in this wage settlement. In fact, we agree on all issues, except the fact that Eskom wants to be able to take disciplinary action against our members for having embarked on protest action during the course of these wage talks. Now, for us, we think that this is completely outrageous and unfair. Eskom admitted that they made a tactical error when they approached wage talks by saying that workers deserved nothing and presented 0% on the table. They provoked our members, and then when members demonstrate peacefully, they now want to embark on disciplinary action to punish them. That is completely unacceptable. We will fight against that. And because of that, this is the reason why we cannot sign this wage settlement. We now find ourselves deadlocked.
Now, essentially, it seems as though that these wage negotiations are now going to be at a deadlock at the expense of consumers. What essentially then is Numsa calling for a way to move forward?
Well, I think it's very important for us to state up front that we have been backed into a corner. This is against our will. We don't want to put the economy at risk, and certainly we don't want to put consumers at risk. We are consumers ourselves. We live in communities and we're affected directly by what happens at Eskom. The problem here is that our members are not responsible for the financial crisis that Eskom finds itself in. It's a fact that Eskom has been looted. It's a fact that senior executive management at Eskom are responsible for the looting and for the corruption and for the financial crisis that Eskom is in. And yet there has been no disciplinary action taken against them or mass dismissal taken against them. They then go and make a decision to punish workers and refuse them an increase when it's actually workers who've been responsible for the life staying on in this country. And then when they provoke them, they want to punish them to disciplinary action. We reject this. And so really our message to consumers is that we do not want to inconvenience anyone. But unfortunately, we've been forced into a very difficult situation, and this is the only way that we can defend our members.
But consumers essentially are going to be affected by this. At the beginning of the wage talks, Eskom was not willing to put any offer on the table. They've now come to the par. They're giving a 7.5% increase for this year and a 7% increase for the next 2 years, as well as that once-off a 10,000 Rand payment towards workers. What is your response now to suggestions that you as unions are actually being unnecessary in these negotiations and moving forward?
No, that's absolutely not true. And in fact, I challenge your analysis. Eskom has not come to the party. We are at 7% because our members were the ones who put pressure on Eskom. And even when you look at the financials, it's now clear to us that when Eskom put that offer of 0% on the table, they were lying to the public because they have performed. There has been an improvement. When you look at Eskom's earnings and you analyze its performance before tax and before deductions, there has been a clear improvement in the performance from last year to this year. Productivity has increased, and this is as a direct result of ordinary men and women at Eskom doing their jobs, putting in the extra hours to ensure that Eskom is productive. The crisis that Eskom finds itself in, we know, is because of mismanagement and looting by senior executive managers. It is obnoxious, quite frankly, for anybody to suggest that ordinary workers should bear the brunt of the failures of the executive management who themselves are responsible for this crisis. And this is why, as Numsa, we're saying that if anybody is to be dismissed here, It should be members of the senior executive management team who have deliberately made decisions to sabotage this power utility and bring it to the point where it is no longer viable.
As it seems now, if Numsa does pull out of the ongoing wage talks, what essentially then is the way to move forward?
Well, the situation as it stands is that if we do not resolve this deadlock, we are within our rights to then pursue the legal processes which would allow us to embark on a protected strike. This is something that we want to avoid at all costs because nobody wins in a strike. As you know, the people who suffer more than anything during a strike are workers because they are denied wages for every day that they withdraw their labor. And of course, ultimately it will have a major impact on the economy and the country if there was to be a strike. We want to avoid this. And this is why we've called for a meeting with the Minister, with Minister Pravin Gordhan on Monday, and we hope to resolve this impasse.
We thank you very much for your time this morning. Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, Numsa spokesperson.